Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be answering your questions about Binance because a number of my subscribers have reached out to me. Are our funds safe with Binance? What's the future for Binance? What are we going to do? Now, if you are a regular subscriber on this channel, you know that in the past, I've told you guys as much as possible, deal with only Coinbase. I mean, bear me witness. I've always told you that. As a matter of fact, I said that I only trade with Coinbase because I have a level of protection from them. That was the word I used several times. That I have a level of protection from them. I get a 15 to 35% margin, provided that that crypto is on Coinbase, Binance maybe, eToro, and then Kraken. If it's not on any of these exchanges, even if it has a white paper and is doing well, I'm not going to invest money in it. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot invest money into it. There's a reason why I'm doing that. I am protected and I don't want to lose my protection. That's why I take these precautions. That's why I have this criteria. With Binance, what's happening right now? What's happening right now with Binance is that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has sued them to court, in federal court in Washington, D.C. And it's similar to what happened with FTX, the second largest crypto exchange, which went down last year with Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO, now facing a slew of charges. It's very similar. It's almost like deja vu. Now with Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, he's now facing all of these issues, and he'd been warned in the past. And it was not something that I could say on video because I did not want to be in a situation whereby I could be sued, because these are very delicate matters. A lot of people watch my channel. If I begin to talk about these matters, then maybe, these people can sue me, and they have a lot of money. They can hire fancy lawyers. But I did mention to you guys, I said, look, try as much as possible, get on Coinbase. And the word I use is because they offer protection. So you got to understand, in the United States, they have all kinds of protection, statutory protection. So with banks, when you have deposits in bank, they have the Federal Deposit Insurance Scheme. Well, there's a similar scheme for crypto. Like would I say, legislators have been working on legislation with the Securities and Exchange Commission, like Cynthia Lewis and, a number of other people. And then to some certain extent, they've been successful, especially in the state of New York. So the State Department for Finance in New York, the Secretary of State, they've reached a number of policies that have helped protect individuals. But then you've got to stay within an exchange that does business and is registered in the United States, such as Coinbase, which is why I've been dealing with Coinbase. Binance is by far the largest crypto exchange in the world. It's the number one. And if it goes down, it affects crypto. For instance, now it's affected the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has dipped because of what's happening with Binance. And it's affected the price of other cryptos. Now, if you recall, 2 days ago, I told you guys, buy Terra Classic, otherwise known as Lucy, and it went up. Now, the reason why it went up is because these guys, they're taking enough steps to make sure that their crypto, Terra Classic, was not tied to an exchange, which a number of people are doing. Ethereum was the first to go that route. Now, with let's say your funds in Binance, look, I'm going to tell you, no one knows what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. That's why you need to get it out. Not because, Binance by itself, they have, in their exchange, they've got built-in infrastructure that will help in the buying, the trading of cryptocurrency. They've got built-in infrastructure, very good infrastructure. However, they do not have protection. And protection is very important because protection, nobody can tell, these are risk assets. So you need to have a form of protection, a form of insurance, which they don't have, which Coinbase has. And because of that, even with all of their good infrastructure, which is, technically better than most other exchanges, because they lack that exchange, it's just like, there's no parachute. Anything can happen. And that's why you need to get out of Binance until they sort out this mess with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And Gary Gensler, the Chief Executive Officer of the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States, the guy, if you read his statement, if you watch his interview, he was interviewed on several platforms, he really wants to do to Binance what he did to FTX. And that means that he's really going to take them out. And I don't know, Zhao, the CEO, Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, he's talking tough, but then a lot of his people, like his CCO and a lot of other people in the United States, it's likely they're going to cooperate with the government in this case that has been filed against Binance. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And when there's uncertainty, look, let them bear their cross by themselves. You don't have a share in that company. Move your assets away to a crypto exchange that has operations legally backed in the United States. The issue with Binance is that they were not, will I say, registered per se in the United States. They were registered in the Cayman Islands. And they've been doing business according to the SEC illegally in the United States. And depositors' funds were not protected. And more so, they've accused Changpeng Zhao, an accusation which he denies, but they said they've got strong evidence to back it up, that they've accused him of misusing client funds and directing them to Sigma Chain, which is an entity that he owns. So, it might be that he was doing some round tripping. We can't tell right now until the case is finished in court. But protect yourself. Get out of Binance and go to a crypto exchange that has protection. I would recommend Coinbase, but I do understand that a number of people not living in the United States will have issues dealing with Coinbase. So if you can't deal with Coinbase, consider, now this is a consideration, you also have to do your own background check. Don't say because I said so, you're just going to go there. But consider eToro. Now, if I wasn't dealing through Coinbase, I would go with eToro. That's what I would do. I would go with eToro. So Coinbase and then eToro. Because eToro, yeah, they've also had some troubles of their own, but then they've been able to defend it, and then they've been able, more importantly, to learn the lessons that from those troubles, and then take the necessary steps to ensure protection for themselves and for their client base, people who use their exchanges. So, and then eToro, it's been operating in the European atmosphere, England and the EU. So there's some level of protection from the European authorities. So I would recommend, if you can go on Coinbase, if you can go and get on Coinbase, then use eToro. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Coinbase really is the best. But right now, if you can't get on Coinbase because you're not in the continental United States, use eToro. Binance is going to have to deal with these issues. These are serious issues, and they've produced some evidence. And like I said before, this business is data-driven, and then you also want protection. If you have those two things, you're going to succeed in crypto. If you don't, you can still succeed, but anything can happen. And I'm not in the business of losing money. I'm in the business of making money for myself and for my subscribers. Now, if you watch this, because this is an ongoing issue, it's still unfolding, the situation is fluid. If you watch this and you have questions, put your questions in the comment section of this video, and I'll do my best to respond to each and every category. In fact, you know what? I'm even going to go a step further. I'll respond to each comment because I don't want my subscribers to be anxious, to become very depressed. I want to help them as much as possible. Now, this Renan Mokri, the Apostle of Prosperity, saying, God bless you.
Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is